Yeah, this is quite a steep part. I mean, 1 to 7 or 1 to 6 more or less, some of the steepest parts of Gannaga Pass. Just look at this view back. Yeah, here we are crossing the border with the Tankwa Karoo National Park. So from here going forward you will see no fences anymore because this is one big protected area. The Tankwa National Park was proclaimed in 1986, taking over many of these old farm areas, and of course people have tried to settle here from the 1700s. Before that, it's been the hunting ground of the sky and the sun for thousands of years. But Europeans tried to farm this area, but I don't think so successful. But now the park is proclaimed and it's been expanding over the years. So it allows us the opportunity now to visit this protected area, and there's been lots of efforts to also re-establish some of the original game and so on in this, or the wildlife in this area. So particularly the Cape zebra as well as the red hartebeest is something that is settled here, but you will undoubtedly see also oryx and lots of springbok. I'm not sure if we're going to really spot it on this camera, but I expect to see some of this. You can ride here or drive here with any car. I mean, these roads that I'm on now, these are the main roads. It's just some normal dirt roads, and as you've seen, it's quite good to ride. You can even keep a bit of speed. You might have a few rough patches, but you certainly don't need a high clearance vehicle or a 4x4 to just ride and drive into the Tankwa National Park. Ek het 'n bietjie vergeet van die T-aansluiting, maar ons moet regs gaan. Ja, ek het wou net vir jou sê hy is 'n bietjie rof en ek dink hierdie stukkie mag dalk ook 'n bietjie rof. Sien, dis die hoofpaaie in, hè. Maar ja, ek dink is nog so maksimum 20 kilos, of seker rondom 20 kilos, dan gaan ons by daai stopplekkie wees. Is jy wil die agterry? Okay, kom. Yeah, so Emil says he wants to ride behind me a bit. Yeah, this road is a bit washboard, so it's not only shaking one around a bit, but you also need to keep your eye on the road, because sometimes this washboard changes into a bit more loose sandy stuff. Now, I must admit it. When it comes to motorbike skills, my skills riding in sand is non-existent. You can probably hear how my voice is shaking. Yeah, so I'm very careful for sand. So Emil just made a turn in the road. I'm not sure. Maybe he dropped something. Not sure what he's picking up a number plate, but it's my number plate. Ah, it's my number plate that fell off. That is not good. The rattle simply became too much. Gone! I think the rattles is just too much. Maar as hy nou heeltemal afgebreek het, ek het gesien daar, want hy kan dalk weer teruggesit word. Hy het daar gebreek. Ja, jy sien so, om hom nou daar vast te draai, hy het nou daai netjie nodig. Maar kom ons kyk gou daar so as ons stop, nee, ek gaan hom net gou inpak 'n bietjie. Ek gaan hom uitsort. Hup. Ja, goed, well spotted, flip and hell. Want as jy nou voor my gery het, sou jy kom verloor het, nee. Yeah, we made a stop here
next to this old mud house. To me, it's amazing that it is so much intact still. Yeah, so we just unpacked a bit to get some snacks to eat. Yeah, so there is the evidence. No number plate for the CRF. But let me just get something in my tummy, then we will fix that. But yeah, it must be some farm setup, because there's some ruins there. It looks like a kraal area, and this house, it's got quite a few rooms. And I think you enter here at the back at the kitchen. The roof is mostly still intact. It looks like that has been the fireplace. And there's also a room or a door to the outside. But from this side, you can look straight through the whole house. So we are taking the lounge area for our snacks. We'll have some droewors, apple, some energy bars, and also a Steristampie. I leaked some of my water out, but luckily Emil caught it. So I aided a bit in the erosion of this mud house. So daai tangetjie is nou al wat ons nodig het, hè. Dit is sommer so cheap Leatherman. Okay, so I must apologize to Mikor Honda, where I bought the bike in Tiger Valley, because I will have to cut this thing now, because this has been cracked on this side, so I will have to turn it upside down and fix that then there, but then the Mikor part is a problem, and of course I will change the number plate around. So that is the plan. Yeah, it actually goes very easy. Look at it.
Bye-bye, Mikor.
Thanks, Mikor. Maybe Mikor will sponsor me a new one. Well, if Emil did not spot this, we would have lost it completely. And there's just before that you were driven or riding ahead of me for a long time. Krim in. Sy begin nou al 'n bietjie stywer vaskom. Ja, hy's lekker styf vas. Ja, dankie. Okay, this was about 14,000 kilometers, and maybe it's sorted for the next 14,000. Yes, it looks like new, man. Dankie.
Entry into the Tankwa Karoo National Park is completely free. So if you're just riding or driving through like we are doing now, there's no gates even to open. I mean, you just drive through. But of course, if you now stay over in the park, then there are some fees payable. And suddenly we are seeing a car on the road. This is something that is rare. We've not seen cars on the road yet. Yeah, so this is where we get off the main road into more a secondary road. So there you can see on the board about 10 kilometers to Gannaga Pass. Now these cattle gates are a bit in a dilapidated condition, so I must remember to come into them a bit slower. Yeah, so we're now making a turn towards the right to go up the mountain there. That is where Gannaga Pass is. I can actually already see it from a distance. It will not be visible on the camera, but Gannaga Pass goes straight up, right to the top. There is no lower point, because that is the plateau area of the Roggeveld Mountains. So that is where we will go. Ja, die camera val af. Die klamp breek af. So that hasn't happened in some time now. But this is unfortunately what happens, so I will just have to put a new clamp. The camera is still running. But luckily, like previous times, it fell onto the road, and that is why it is cracked. You can see it is cracked there. But luckily this time it fell into my lap. So I'll just have to put in a new clamp. Okay. We have now managed to replace the bracket on this camera. But yeah, it is annoying for this camera to break off, but now I must also say the roads have been extremely bumpy with this washboard. But now it's on to Gannaga Pass. Here is the faded board. Gannaga Pass. Here it starts with a slight decline, and then it's only an ascent all the way. Now this is exciting to ride this pass. I've never done it with motorcycle, and of course never done this with Emil joining me, so this is quite an wonderful prospect. So I was looking forward to this for a long time. Yeah, so the Gannaga Pass takes us up something like 580 meters from the Tankwa plain below to the Middelpos plateau, which is also of course the Roggeveld mountain and the Roggeveld plateau. So yeah, this is a pass like Ouberg. You only go up this one, and then on the other side there's no descent. I mean, it is simply linking up with the plateau. As with so many passes, there was a role to be played by the Bains in this pass. Now, this pass was laid out by the Bains, but I think the layout of this pass happened long before it was built, because Thomas Bain already passed away in 1893, and I think Andrew Geddes Bain passed away in 1869. But this pass was only built in 1896, so it was only constructed 3 years after the death of Thomas Bain, and it was built by the Cape Colony Public Works. So I'm not sure who the person is that built it. But of course, the techniques of Bain, I would assume, is undoubtedly here. You will see some of the stonework. So yeah, enjoy this pass with us. What a privilege to ride it. Maybe just one interesting thing about this pass is that the stonework in these little valleys into the pass is beautiful, because it's got the windows that can allow the water to run through. So I can see it. Maybe you can see it in this one. Let's just see. Yeah, so you can see, I hope you can see it on the camera, but there's a little window down below on both sides where the water runs through. But look how neat this stonework is. Sure, very, very neat. Some baboons sleeping in the little window. Oh, and now you can see some of Gannaga Pass. If you look back, beautiful. Yeah, it's almost a bit misty, but just look down. Beautiful. Here the road is caving in a bit. Yeah, this is quite a steep part. I mean, 1 to 7 or 1 to 6 more or less, some of the steepest parts of Gannaga Pass. Just look at this view back. Oh, some titans here. No, Gannaga Pass is a spectacular pass. Okay, now we are almost at the top of the Roggeveld Plateau. There you can see the road down below. Yeah, I think we made it now to the top, and of course now back into the wind a bit. And it is a few degrees cooler here. And of course here at the top of Gannaga Pass is the famous Gannaga Lodge. You can see there in the distance. But unfortunately it is closed. I've spoken to somebody next to the road. Apparently there's some death in the family there. So it sounds a bit sad. But Gannaga Lodge is a famous lodge where one can get accommodation, and it's also got a very nice restaurant area. So I was initially planning for myself and Emil to stop there and maybe have something to drink, but now given that it's closed, we will just drive past. Well, yeah, I don't know what the future of the lodge is, whether it is just temporarily closed or whether it's more permanent, but I hope not. It is such a wonderful place to go to. Yeah, so unfortunately Gannaga Lodge is closed, but look at the views it's got here over the valley. But there you can see parts of the buildings. So Middelpos is now the waypoint, and then from Middelpos we will take the road north to Calvinia. Now we have now crossed through the fence or the boundary of the Tankwa Karoo National Park. Most of the Tankwa Karoo National Park is of course on the Tankwa Plain below the Roggeveld mountain escarpment, but a little bit of it comes across the ridge or the escarpment here towards the Gannaga Lodge side. But I think we have now exited the park. We're not quite sure when you actually go outside the park. So we are now back into farmland area, so well into the Northern Cape province. Yeah, we have now made it to the town of Middelpos. Not sure what's happening on this field. There seems to be some workers on this soccer and rugby field. But yeah, it's a dead field, there's no grass there. So Middelpos is a town here in the Northern Cape. I think it's about halfway between Sutherland and Calvinia. This was a town that was established already in 1860 when a person with the name of Daniel Tomlinson decided to establish a trader's post here and a shop and so on. So that became an important place then for people to buy some stuff. And then when he died, Tomlinson, he died in 1877, and then this is the spot of the shop on the right hand side. It was taken over by the Shear family, who is a Jewish family who played quite an important role of the development of the town, and it's part of the community of traders, of Jewish traders that developed the town of Middelpos. Let me first make a stop here. So we're just getting ready to get back on the bikes. We had a bit of a stop here and we met up with Peter and Elise there. They are from Germany, but they stay in South Africa. Peter stays in Jeffreys Bay, but he had quite a serious puncture in his front tire and he didn't have patching solution. So Luckily I had it packed and you could get them sorted. So they're getting the tube back into the tire now. Yeah, it must be quite a bad feeling sitting next to the road and you don't have the patch and solution, but now they are sorted. So we are off again. So now it is almost 80 kilometers to get to Calvinia. Bye-bye. Yeah. Bye. What friendly people. Yeah, right here in front of the Middelpos Hotel. So maybe I could just continue my story. Yes, so Tomlinson then died in 1877 and the store was taken over here in the town, the trading store, by the Scheer family, which is a Jewish family. And they played an important part in the development of the town, like so many Jewish families in these Karoo towns. And it's interesting, but the most famous family member of the Scheer family is Sir Anthony Scheer, which is a well-known actor and writer. And just interestingly, one of his books is also named Middelpos. So they've got a strong history, a long history here with Middelpos. But yeah, it's a very small town. If you don't brake quick enough, you are through. And we are already out of the town. So now we are linking up here with the R354 to take the road to Calvinia. We just spoke to them there. They say the road is not too bad. We also made sure about what route to take. I always enjoy meeting fellow motorcycle riders, so it was great meeting up with Peter. So this is the Karoo Highlands route. Let's go. Yeah, so Elisa there is riding one of the 2025 Honda CRF 300 rallies, so had quite a good chat with her. She also loves her CRF, so it's a famous bike. This is the R27 between Calvinia and Keimoes. Alles nog oké? Oké, nou is het nog 15 kilometer. Je gaat seer. Ja, ons gaan 'n bietjie afklim daarso. Laat ons net gou daar kom, oké? Kan ons maar gaan? Dankie. Je kan maar gaan, Emil. Thanks. Okay, so they said we could go. Hopefully there's not any cars coming from the front. We have now made it to the town of Calvinia. So just gonna make an immediate stop to fill up with fuel, and there seems to be a place where you can buy some food. We just need to get some food for the night. Hello! I don't think we're going to get food in Loeriesfontein, so we're just going to check on getting something to take with us. Here at the home of the Mutton Pie Crafts coffee shop. Sounds fantastic. So you're ready for Loeriesfontein? Kom gaan. Yeah, so this is a very pleasant place to buy some food. Yo, they really have fantastic things to buy. So we opted for 2 curry vetkoeken and 2 jaffles. So a vetkoek and a jaffle for me and Emil each for tonight. So we just packed it, and now we are off to Loeriesfontein. But this gives us an opportunity to just ride through the town of Calvinia. Now, so this town is quite an old town. And I just want to make sure that I ride past the church. I just want to have a bit of a look there. But this town was already established in 1845, and in 1851 it was named Calvinia after the theologian and reformist John Calvin. Now the first church on this site was apparently built in 1849 already. So only, what is it, 3 years or 4 years after the town of Calvinia was established in 1849. It's a beautiful building. Although it's known as the Klipkerk or the stone church, it doesn't have much exposed stone. It's only there in the front you can see some of the exposed stone. A beautiful new Gothic steeple. It was built in 1899. It's the same date as the church in Sutherland. I find the date interesting because the church in Sutherland, of course, has a link to the Anglo-Boer War, where the church was finished in 1899 and then the British took it over. Now this one was also built in 1899, but I don't think it may not have been involved in the war itself. But in 1901 some Boer units did take over the town of Calvinia and apparently they torn up the Union Jack that was in the town. Oh, there's some beautiful old buildings here. Yo, coffee shops. Yo, it's a huge post box. And yeah, but only 3 days later the British took it back, so it was not a very successful capturing of the town. So now I'm just looking for the road out of Calvinia to Loeriesfontein. We're going to take the dirt road now to Loeriesfontein. It's 82 kilometers still to go. Suddenly we are riding with the wind a bit. Oh, it's so much more relaxing with the wind and a little bit with the sun behind us. But I don't think it's going to be for long. No, this dirt road is excellent. We are keeping our speeds consistently around 80 kilometers an hour, so this is great. Oh, we just made a bit of a stop here, 40 kilometers before Loeriesfontein. Quite a beautiful spot. By looking down into this valley, I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but there's some quiver trees, quite a few. So this is quiver tree country. Sien jy die kokerbome? Dis pragtig, né? Suddenly we have some tar road here in Loeriesfontein. Welcome. So we're going to head straight to our place where we're going to sleep tonight, which is called the Rock Ridge Manor. Loeriesfontein was established in 1894, so it's not as old as Calvinia, and it was established by a man called Fred Turner, who was a Bible salesman. And Fred Turner, yeah, he played a big role in the development of this town. He had a trading store as well, and apparently the trading store is still in the family, and it is his grandson or great-grandson that is still owning the trading store here in Loeriesfontein. I find that interesting. But of course, Loeriesfontein is world famous for being only one of 2 places in the world where there is a museum dedicated to windmills or wind pumps. So we'll probably not go there today, but maybe tomorrow morning we can pop by the windmill museum here in Loeriesfontein, and it's also called the Fred Turner Windmill Museum. We are staying in Unit 5. Yeah, so it's this one. So we can simply park here. So this is Unit 5 of Rock Ridge Manor. Ons het dit gemaak. Ja. We have now made it safely to a windy Loeriesfontein, but I'm glad we made it. So what a ride, what a ride. But yeah, we are staying here at a lovely place called Rock Ridge Manor. So come, let's have a look what it looks like inside. Yeah, so we can park the bikes right here in front of the unit. So we are staying in number 5. This is a very neat place. Yeah, so if you enter here, there's a little counter with chairs. So there's a single bed and also a double bed. Some cupboards, there's a TV. So right here is our bathroom. Oh, with a nice big shower. Yeah, and then it's got a fully equipped kitchen on this side. There's some stove plates, there's also microwave, toaster, kettle, and even an indoor braai. Really looks like a pleasant place to stay, especially after long riding of today. And this is a back door, also having a bit of a view there into Loeriesfontein. Yeah, I think myself and Emil is going to enjoy our stay here. Well, this now brings me to the end of the video for today. Of course, I was joined by Emil. We had a fantastic day of riding. It was a long day. We started around 7 o'clock this morning and it is now about 7 o'clock at night. So it's basically a full 12 hour of activities on the bike and riding long roads. I mean, we did about 370 kilometers today. Almost, well, all of it dirt road except for 15 kilometers into Calvinia. The rest all dirt roads. So we're going to spend the night here tonight in Loeriesfontein. So if you enjoyed this video, please give us or give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And until tomorrow, we continue. We depart again here from Loeriesfontein. So until tomorrow, goodbye.